Stone Mountain Park, a short drive northeast of Atlanta, Georgia, was the location for last weekend's Highland Games and Festival. The event attracted 32 bagpipe bands, clans from across the US, hundreds of dancers and musicians, athletes, and thousands of spectators of all ages.
These games started 37 years ago in this same location. We've been here every year, third weekend in October, and it's a gathering of literally of the family coming back together. Of the Scots, there are 120 odd Scottish clans represented here. We have all of the traditional Scottish athletics activities. The dances are going on all weekend. 2 continuous performance dance stages. There are something like almost 700 musicians will be here on the main parade field and a mass pipe band. That is awe-inspiring to see them out there. We're very delighted to have our friends from Northern Ireland, Scots Irish. I myself am Scots Irish. We share a very common heritage, I think, a very common background.
The close ties between the Irish and the Scots were very much apparent at Stone Mountain. Indeed, the annual festival has long attracted Americans of Scots Irish heritage who live primarily in the south. To remind them of their roots and close ties with Northern Ireland, Tourism Ireland had a strong presence at this year's event.
This is a big event in Atlanta, and for the 2 days that we're here, about 40,000 people of Scots ancestry come and celebrate and do the Highland Games and play their pipes. And we're here with people from Northern Ireland to say to the Scots people, you know something, you could be part Irish. And for some reason, they're fascinated with that. I think the Irish are very well liked, and the whole concept of being Irish is very important to people. And they come to us, we talk to them about genealogy, we talk to them about history, we talk to them about heritage. And before we part, we hope we have a promise from them to come and visit us in Northern Ireland.
The Tourism Ireland tent, with a team of experts from Northern Ireland, offered a varied programme of music, lectures and demonstrations.
The difference between Scottish and Irish stew.
The cooking display and tasting, featuring Ulster cuisine, was particularly popular, even with the youngest of visitors.
I'm demonstrating Ulster food with a Southern American twist. And I'm taking foods that, like the breads that we make in Ireland, the griddle breads, such as soda bread, potato bread, oat cakes, and showing how the Irish creatively adapted on the frontier when they came to the American South, and they adapted that to things like cornbread, and what we call scones became biscuits, and also the Irish stew that I'm demonstrating is also very much like the Frogmore stew or the Brunswick stew in the American South that they also eat. So much how the comfort food that we eat in Ireland is really so like what they actually eat here in the American South.
It's perfectly done. The stew is good because I really like the meat and I like the breads too. And I just thought that the stew was really good because it was light but still had that good flavor of the meat and the carrots and all the vegetables. So, and the bread was buttery but still not that much. And it's really sweet and I love stuff that is sweet, so I just thought it was really good.
A strong sense of heritage and family was very evident during the Stone Mountain Festival. Often referred to as the Gathering, the event attracts clans from across the US. For Guy Irwin, meeting up with members of the Irwin clan is now more important than ever before.
The clans are, I think, fill a niche that we have lost here, and that's a fact. We don't have the tight families and extended families that we used to have. we have become more isolated because of modern communication. It's used to be, and in turn, going back quite a few years ago, used to be you got together on the weekends and you sang around the piano and that type of stuff. Now you sit on your couch, watch television, and get fat.
As more Americans are identifying with their particular clan, many are discovering for the first time their Ulster Scots or Scots Irish roots. The interest has led to the formation of an Ulster Scots Society here in the U.S., founded by Texas native Glenn Pratt.
The Ulster Scots Society of America is a relatively new organization, just founded in the latter part of 2003 in the Raleigh, North Carolina area originally, but it has just grown like wildfire, and we have members all across the United States now, from Maine to Florida to Texas to the West Coast. We have members in Canada and even Northern Ireland, and there seems to be a resurgence in this country the past several years of people rediscovering their Ulster Scots identity.
My sixth great grandmother was a Scots Irish lady who married, and she had 5 sons that fought in the Revolutionary War, also the French and Indian Wars. The Ulster Scots Society really gives us an opportunity to bring that heritage out and educate people on what it really means. I've never been to Northern Ireland, but I'd love to get there. I would love to see. I've heard the history. History here is 200 years deep. There is thousands of years deep. And having ancestors that came from there, it would be really meaningful for me to see it one day.
With so much going on at Stone Mountain, it was easy to forget that the focus was on games and competition. In fact, this is the second largest Highland Games in the US, which attracts competitors from across the country.
I was in Northern Ireland this last summer, July 2009, competing in the Highlander Challenge, and we competed in some of the same events that you see here today at Stone Mountain, including the Sheaf Toss, which is what I just competed in. It kind of draws back to the agricultural history of tossing bales into the lofts of the barns and things like that, so we've modified it to make it into a sport. The caber toss is an event about accuracy. It's not for distance or anything like that. It's for accuracy. And we have a very difficult caber, which is a long tree cut down that we try and turn over perfectly end over end.